Hey, coaches. Today I'm going to go over two simple motion offenses that every coach should know about. These are simple motion offenses and can be used really. I'll kind of go into when they're used, but really easy ones that you can set up and use and adapt to however you do it. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the 5-out motion offense. And the reason this one is good, or the strengths and when you want to use it, really, it can be used against any type of defense. So a man or a zone defense, it's effective, it'll work. It's really easy to implement. You just there's really only a couple rules that you need to have your players follow. And it certainly maximizes the floor spacing. I mean, as you can see, like having 5 out and with the rules implemented, you really have a lot of space to work. So, kind of how it works, the basic principles of it is you have all 5 players can start at any one of these positions. The 2 corners, the 2 wings, and the key or the point area. And really, you can give them really simple rules, and it can really be standardized however you want it. You want to teach them to, pass, and then everybody does something, right? Either they're going to cut to the basket or they're going to replace another player on the court, with a screen action or something. So let's just say that we have the ball on the 4, and using these, rules. Actually, I'm going to start the ball at the point because we're going to bring the ball down. Just say that, the 5. And I want to emphasize here, too, that this position or this motion offense, it doesn't matter if you're a big, doesn't matter if you're a point guard. Everybody's playing the 5-out. So this is a really good one for some of our younger teams because everybody can play every position, and that's what you want to teach them anyhow. So player 5 passes to player 4. Now, everybody needs to move because they want to shake up the defense. You don't want any one person standing. And kind of what I tell my players is drive in. With your hands up, you're looking at the ball, you're looking for the pass. Option 1, you get a nice, break and you score. But if it's not there, everybody's looking to move. And one of the things that I like for my players to do is I like them to move to the weaker side where maybe these 2 players here are doing a quick screen action and replacing each other. Whereas on this side, they really can't do that unless you do something that I'm going to talk about here in a second. This player really only has this person to screen. So he comes up, does a screen. This person's looking for the pass. It's not there. He comes up, he replaces the other spot. And the ball is passed, right? And it can really be passed to anywhere, right? And these are the 2 probably best passes as a second option when the initial drive didn't work or the initial drives didn't work. So maybe the ball is passed up to the key or to the point. And now everything starts all over again. This player drives in and looks to do a quick curl cut for this player. Maybe you're looking to pass the ball again and come up while these 2 players are switching. And that's an easy way to start this, but you're really giving your players the option to do whatever they want to do. And this is how you build team chemistry. So ball gets passed here. This person cuts in, looking for the pass. Screen action while looking for the pass, while at the same time these 2 are screening. And this is how you can start teaching this offense. Once you start adding defense in there and running the same iteration, you can change this up. You can add to where now they're doing a dribble drive action. Or I'm sorry, not a dribble. Okay, so these 2 are screening to get the defender off. if the other players see that screening motion or dribble handoff or whatever they do there, the other players might do the same thing or just cut and screen off of that. A lot of movement there, and it's good. It's good for the offense. So there's a lot of different opportunities here, a lot of different things that can happen. But essentially, when you start getting good at this, your team can do whatever they want, as long as they're working together, and you'll be amazed at the creativity your teams will come up with. So that's the 5-out motion. Now, before I jump into the next motion offense, which I think all coaches should know, and this one's a little bit different but a lot the same, I just want to take a second and just ask you for a favor. If you can help me out by liking and subscribing to the video, if you like the content, of course, it'll really help the channel. So, thank you for doing that. We're going to jump into the next one, which is the 4-out, 1-in motion offense. And this one gives the coach a little bit of flexibility when the coach has a player that is a good post player, maybe a tall kid or whatever the case may be. Now they can play the post, and they have the entire post here to mess with. But it's the same exact thing. But now what you're trying to do is you're trying to use that post player. And coaches, you can use this offense, these two offenses, throughout the entire game. Maybe you only have one post player, but that post player's got to get a break every once in a while. So when you're not using the post player, you're in the 5-out. When you're using the post player, you're using the big man. Or maybe when they don't have a big guy in there, you're playing the 5-out. Whatever the case may be, here are your rules for the 5-out. And I want to say too that this one's one that you're probably going to use against a man-to-man defense more than likely. I guess it could be used for a zone, but it's probably more effective against a man-to-man. And essentially, your goal here is to get that post player to establish position, for scoring opportunities or to screen for the cutters. So essentially, you want those, perimeter players passing the ball, cutting, screening away, or driving when a lane opens. And there's a lot of options to talk about here in this one that will probably require a video that goes a little bit more into depth. So if that's something you want, please put a comment down below. In fact, put a comment down below which one is your favorite, and I'll make a video that is much more in depth on that specific motion offense. So essentially here, what's happening is, let's say the ball's passed let's say the ball's up top at the point area. Let's say the ball's passed to the 4. The 5 stepping up to. Okay, so the 2 is going to get a screen from the 5, and you could open up for a quick layup right there, and then while that's happening, the 3 and the 1 are doing something, right? Like maybe the 5 comes up and screens for the 3. Maybe the 3 and the 1 rotate, little screen action. Maybe now the 4 tries for a dribble drive, penetration. To penetrate, using the 5 as the screener. So the 5's gotta read the offense and figure out, what are we doing here? Are we screening? Are we, what? Are we looking after that screen? Does he pop out? Does he get the ball in the post? Does the 4 try to do a quick dribble handoff with the 1? And then pass it back for a quick shot? Does he, does the 3 cut in, replace himself for a quick three-pointer. A lot of different things can happen here. Maybe this guy gets a good position on his defender. Lane's wide open. Boom. So a lot of different options here, but essentially that's the 5-out or the 4-out, 1-in. So, Coach, these are two very simple motion offense plays. My advice to you, keep it simple. Teach one motion offense at a time. Get your players good at it. Focus on spacing, cutting, reading the defense. As your team gets comfortable, add layers like the screens that we talked about, counter moves, dribble handoffs, and just different advanced reads. You can really get good at this offense. Again, like and subscribe if you like this content, and looking forward to the next video.